Hello, my name is Aidan and welcome to another Golf Predictor video tutorial. Today I shall be talking about the golfer prediction data page. These pages can be accessed from almost all of the options on the predictions or form menus on Golf Predictor. Okay, so to start we shall look at the prediction data page for Bubba Watson for the 2015 Greenbrier Classic. So simply click on Bubba's first name or surname to access the prediction data page for him. Okay, so let's do a quick overview of this page for Bubba before we look at the stats and charts in more detail. At the top you have some basic information about the golfer and the tournament at hand. Then you have the general stats panel, followed by panels for the season, course, tournament, similar events, similar weather, similar length course. Following that, you have links to their official stats page on the main tours if you want to see information like GIR stats and so on. Underneath that, you have the very useful performance table where you can see how many wins, top tens, missed cuts, or non-finishes the golfer has that season in his last 5 events on the same course, in the same tournament, in the last 12 similar tournaments, and in his career since 2003. And finally, underneath that, you have color-coded tables showing relevant results. For example, the first table shows the golfer's season results. And you can see at a glance how Bubba has done in his previous outings this year. Underneath that, we have the relevant historical results, same course or same tournament. Then we have last 12 similar events, followed then by similar weather and similar length course results. And underneath all those tables, we have a key table. So in case you don't understand or can't remember what a certain abbreviation is on the page, you can check down here for a more detailed explanation. Okay, so let's go back to the top of the page and begin to have a look in more depth at some of these stats. So let's start by looking at Bubba's general stats. In this panel you can see things like his predicted rank in the tournament, which is number 1, his performance likelihood, his DraftKings information, his world ranking information, his field rank for world ranking. This means out of the entire field, Bubba has the highest rank in this particular stat, i.e. he is the highest world ranked golfer in the field. Here you can see his average field ranking for all the stats that are ranked on Golf Predictor. We'll look at that in a second, and Bubba's average is an impressive 8.12. Then at the bottom of this panel you can see his cut streak, which is only 1. That means he's only got on a streak of 1 tournament since he missed his last cut, and his rather more impressive winless streak of 0, and that's because he won last time out at the Travelers Championship. And you can see this information underneath, his last win and the last cut which he missed, which was the recent US Open at Chambers Bay. Okay, you can see that after some of these stats there are little icons, either line icons or bar icons, and these signify that you can click on these to see a chart. So for example, to click on the icon after Bubba's world ranking, just click that and up pops his world ranking chart. So you can see it's been pretty steady over the season. So for example, you see that Bubba in week 25, which was at the Travelers, before he won it, he was ranked number 5 in the world, and after that win this week he is ranked number 3. So you can see Bubba's evolution of his world ranking throughout the season on this chart. Also at the bottom you see the number of tournaments that he has played in the season and his average world ranking, which is a pretty impressive 3.64. Okay, so I'll close that again to get back to the main prediction page. Another interesting chart here is the average field rank. So we'll click on that. Wait a second, and you see we have a distribution of Bubba's field ranking. So for example, his season field ranking is 1, so that means he's got the lowest average finishing position this season in the field. His last 5 finishing position average is the 12th best in the field, and so on down the line for course average, tournament average, similar tournaments, a world ranking, which we've already seen, his weather average, and his similar length course average. So you can see Bubba's field ranking is pretty good all round, except perhaps for his weather average. So hovering over a column will give slightly more information. In this case, it just explains a little bit better what weather means in this instance. Okay, so a pretty useful chart. You can see at a glance how a golfer is ranked in the field for the various important metrics. So that's Bubba's general stats panel. We now look briefly at one or two other panels. For example, the course history panel in the last 5 years. You can see Bubba's average finishing position, the standard deviation, which is a measure of how consistent he has been. So the lower the number here, the better. It just means his results have been similar to each other. Then we see the best and worst finishes, his scoring average, his stroke average, and his field rank for this metric. So you might remember from the chart we saw earlier that Bubba's field ranking for course history was 7. So you just see it there again. Now his GP season panel above that is similar, but it just has slightly more information because it also contains his last 5 event stats, as well as his season stats, and it also has slightly more round information. So the other panels, such as the tournament, last 12 similar events, similar weather, similar length course, are all similar in their makeup. So they all have the same kind of stats. So we won't go through them now. And just to mention that you can, if you're not interested in any particular stat, you can click on this double arrow icon here and it will collapse that particular panel. So that might make the page easier to navigate for you. Of course, should you so wish, you can click on the double arrows again to redisplay the panel you might have hidden. Okay, a final word on the panel is that you have several chart links in each panel, and the round stats have 2 chart links. The first link for each round stat is the chart score in every tournament so far this season. That's similar to the world ranking chart we saw earlier. And the second link then is a distribution chart. So for example, to look at Bubba's round 4 or final round distribution chart, you can see out of the 8 final rounds Bubba has played, 3 of them have been in the range 65 to 69, 1 has been in the range of 75 to 79, and the other 4 have been in the range of 70 to 74. So again, if you hover over a bar, you can get more information. For example, you see that 50% of Bubba's 4th round or final rounds have been in the range of 70 to 74. Okay, so we close out of that again, and we will finish our look at the prediction data page with a look at the tournament lists at the bottom of the page. Personally, I find these tournament lists very, very useful. If I'm checking on a golfer form and I want to decide if he's a good pick or not for the particular tournament, I come into this page and I have a quick look at his season results and his historical results in particular. So for example, we look at Bubba's season results, we see he's coming off a victory. That might necessarily be a good thing for some golfers because they're too busy celebrating and doing a lot of media after some wins, so it might actually be a red flag. But if you see a lot of yellow in the color-coded table, it means a lot of top 10s leading up to the event, so that could mean that this particular golfer could be a good pick for the tournament in question. Similarly, if you look at his historical form and you see a lot of yellow or even red numbers in the past, it could indicate that that golfer performs well on the course. Now, if you hover over the finishing position, you can see that the pop-up tells you whether the golfer was tied for that position or not. Also, if you hover over the link for the tournament result, you see much more information popping up on that tournament and the course it was held on. A general rule on Golf Predictor is that if you see a link in a data table or a list of tournaments, then it generally contains some pop-up text if you hover over it. Okay, so that's about it for the prediction data page. I think you'll agree that there is a mountain of stats on this page to digest, so please take your time to do so. Thank you for watching this tutorial, and I'll talk to you again soon.